Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. This is why you don't confront shoplifters or thieves. Just call the damn police over. I hope the owners learned it too. I get it, it's their store, but it's not worth getting run over or shot or something. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Guy who stole $2,000 worth of equipment from our store comes back to shop the same day. I work at a relatively new grocery store in a small town in Washington. We've only been open for around 9 months now, and our customer count has been going up recently, so it gets a bit harder to keep track of customers. I usually work as a cashier most of the week on the closing shift, but I'll also throw freight on the aisles at least 2 days a week. Anyways, here's the story. So in our stock room, we have 4 handheld scanners on docks ready to use by employees and managers to check prices, print tags, etc. On St. Patrick's Day, we somehow lost 2 of them. These things are worth a lot of money, and at first we thought 2 managers had just misplaced them. For the past month, they've been trying to track them with the tile trackers they put on each device, and they've always shown to be just outside, or even in our parking lot. The owners were obviously confused and have been trying to figure out what happened to them. Yesterday, I came in for my shift as the closing cashier. I grabbed my uniform from my locker, put on my face mask, and grabbed my headset. As I'm in the front office getting my radio, one of the owners grabs my attention and shows me a printout of the security cameras. Owner 1 and Owner 2 for Owners 1 and 2. Owner 1. So we just found out who took our handhelds. Turns out he just walked straight to the back and just took them off the docks and walked right back out. We're pretty sure you were on your break at that point. Did you see him? The break room's just inside of the stock room, but there aren't any windows or anything besides a slim one-way window on the door. Me. I didn't see him, but he does look familiar. I'll keep an eye out for him. Owner 2. If you see him, let us know. That's very valuable equipment he stole. Me. Yes, sir. I'll let you know if I see him. I walk out and clock in. So I'm going about my normal shift. I count in my till. I do some facing around the store since there are 2 cashiers up front currently. Then it happens. 15 minutes after I switch out registers with the opening cashier, the guy walks right in and grabs a basket. At first, I didn't recognize him. Even on the picture, he just looked like any ordinary guy. Luckily, our front-end manager has years of experience, so she spotted him no problem. So she goes and faces the area he's in, acting like she's making it look pretty, and he's really interested in the chicken that's right next to the stockroom. Anyways, a few minutes later, he comes up with a full basket of goodies. As he's talking to me, I hear the manager telling Owner 2 he's in my line, and he's being rung up. I freeze for a second because, I couldn't say anything. Luckily, I had a mask on, so he couldn't see the look of shock come across my face. Anyways, Owner 2 comes up and is acting like he's helping me bag. Then he suddenly starts a conversation with him. I'll put the customer as T for thief. Owner 2. Hey, have you gone in the store before? T. Yeah, a few times. I'm a pretty frequent shopper. Owner 2. Okay, cool. Have you been around here March 17th? T immediately starts acting nervous. Not that I know of. Owner 2. All right, stops bagging. Hang on 1 second, I'll be right back. Owner 2 went to the front office, I'm guessing to grab printout they showed me earlier, and T's just sputtering. Suddenly, T just looks up, does a 180, and just starts walking out. In the middle of my transaction, I actually had to shut down my register so I didn't get a line going. So I then pull out my radio, the mic remote won't work, probably from the rain, and alert Owner 2 he's trying to walk out, and he just Usain bolts out the door after him, probably trying to ask him why he stole the handhelds, and then, as Owner 2 is getting the guy's license plate, T tried to run over Owner 2 with his car. Probably in view of the front surveillance camera, so the cops are called, charges were pressed, and now they know who he is. He's probably done this before, now that I think about it, and I'm just in shock. Afterwards, I was profusely apologizing for not noticing it was him in the first place, but the manager just reassured me that I just didn't have experience in identifying people like that. She had around 9 years of experience to boot, that's why she was able to spot him. Anyways, let's hope there's an end to that whole deal and we can get our 2 handhelds back, LOL. Update. I forgot to mention that when he stole those handhelds, he did it with no hesitation, and like he knew what he was doing. It was an insane breach of privacy, and no one even noticed. And our second story. Future mother-in-law is going insane. Background: I'm getting married in a couple months to my amazing fiancé. We come from different backgrounds. His parents are really wealthy and educated in academic way. Mine, we were always struggling with money. I have no issue with that. So my partner, I'm also not ashamed about this. His mother never really liked me, but as far as I know, she never liked any of his girlfriends simply because they were not good enough for her perfect son. I wasn't too bothered about this since he never listened to her and don't care about her shenanigans. I ignored all her comments about my appearance, 2 tattoos, our choice to be childless, you were selfish and stupid. She always talks about my fiancé's exes, bash my career choices and all, but as soon as she heard about engagement and wedding, the real fun begins. After much discussion, we decided to get married in small ceremony with only parents and our witnesses, and maybe a couple months later, garden party for closest friends and family members. Well, she hates the idea. She thinks we should do a big wedding, and she's going to pay for it, because if we go our way, then someone will be offended. I mean, that was the main reason we decided to go with such a small ceremony, but she just can't wrap her head around the fact that her beloved son will have that kind of wedding. Mind you, we both wanted this. My main concern is the fact that I'm sure she'll bring her family members despite our agreement, and once, she's still talking about it to other family members of her family, like we betrayed her. She even said, well, then I'm going to pay for my own dinner and invite everyone. I mean, go ahead. This is not going to be at our wedding. I thought that if we go with a small ceremony, her whole idea of big Italian wedding, which we are not, it's just her fantasy, will disappear. I guess I just want to express my feelings somewhere because sometimes I think that I'm the one who's crazy. Update: I want to clarify a couple things. Zero contact policy is not an option at this moment because we're going to be a co-owners or something like that with them, father-in-law and mother-in-law. They're building huge hotel-like thing and they'll need our help. I mean, we're helping them now and it's actually act of selfishness because we want to live there at some point of our lives. No matter what my fiancé says, she's always like that. She won't change. My fiancé says that I should stop telling her about wedding and maybe she'll stop. He also always has my back, always protect me from her, and he definitely is not mama's boy. There were multiple conversations about her behavior, but, well. The wedding that we were planning will be in courthouse in our country. You need to have witnesses of the wedding. I don't know, is there any other English word for that? And you can, but you don't have to invite others. Our plan is that we'll have witnesses, parents from both sides, and that's all. After the ceremony, we wanted to take them for a dinner, and that's all. After a couple months, we'll throw a party for friends. Her main problem is that this is too modest, and we should invite other family members for at least the dinner. We won't because we want to pay for everything to avoid her control. Also, why we want that kind of wedding? I'm really anxious and have a lot of panic attacks. Being the center of the attention is hard for me and groups of people scares me. She knows that. She just doesn't care. Probably already heard this, but Mr. Perfect needs to set his mother straight. It's not your job. And our last story. I'm not giving my sister 50% of my business. I started a small business in July of 2020, and about 8 months in, I hired my older sister to do some administrative work for me. She had recently had a baby and was not planning on returning to work, but still needed a little money. She asked if there was anything she could do to help the business, and I said yes. Her responsibilities included answering some emails, organizing existing spreadsheets, and reaching out to other businesses, which was her background, but none of the reaching out led anywhere. She clocked about 5 to 8 hours of work per week, and I paid her $25 an hour. I still created the product for the client, answered follow-up emails from the client, handled the financials, and ran the social media and website. About a year in, we decided to do a rebrand, and we hired someone to make a new logo, and I built a new website. About 5 months before the launch of the rebrand, she asked if we could get something in writing, an employment contract, and also expressed an interest in owning a part of the business. I told her we could definitely get something in writing, and I would think about the part ownership. 3 months later, I suggested a 70-30 split, to which she disagreed. She said she was looking for a 50-50. I said I was definitely not comfortable with a 50-50, and the highest I would go would be 51-49. She responded with, "What's the point of being part owner when your decision would still be the final say?" Again, I told her I would think about it. 2 weeks before the launch of the rebrand, I was talking to my husband and made the comment about having to give her 50% to keep the peace. He advised me to write down my financial contribution to the company versus hers. Obviously, the financial, let alone time commitment, was staggering. I presented her with a spreadsheet of tiers to buy into the company, 10% for free, and then tiered payments all the way up to 49%. She was very angry, saying that I had blindsided her, betrayed her, and even went as far as to say she built my business. I've apologized for not bringing it up until the week before the launch, but she refuses to speak to me. She refuses to come to family Thanksgiving or Christmas, and it's tearing my family apart. Update: I definitely let my judgment be clouded because she's my sister. I ended up taking the entire offer off the table, and consequently, she decided she didn't want to work for me anymore. Since then, I've hired 2 non-family member part-time employees who are thriving and producing higher quality work than my sister ever did. I've grown the social media to over 100,000 followers, which led to so many more clients, and overall, I just feel more excited about the business. I love my new team, and we all work together so well. I think she was sucking the energy out of me, and I didn't even realize it. Unfortunately, she refuses to speak to me, and it causes awkward family gatherings. However, everyone in my family's on my side. Even her husband. He doesn't ask about the business, but will talk to me about everything else in my life. I still feel bad about the way things ended, and I wish I would have been more upfront. But I'm so glad I didn't give up my share of the business. I would have been absolutely miserable, and the business would have failed completely. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.